Pakistan is probably the only country that had a former professional cricketer as their Prime Minister. But does that mean they have top-notch cricket grounds? Let's find out. Here are the Pakistan Super League stadiums. Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, Islamabad United. You might be wondering why a team representing Islamabad are playing in Rawalpindi, which is a city in its own right. Well, Islamabad is just 12 kilometers away. Rawalpindi is actually the larger of the two cities, so I assume if it weren't for the fact that Islamabad is the nation's capital, the team would probably be named Rawalpindi United or something. Anyway, the stadium itself is fairly rudimentary. Most of the seating is bare concrete, although there are some bucket seats, brought to you by Pepsi. National Stadium, Karachi Kings. Speaking of capitals, Karachi was the first capital of Pakistan. Oddly enough, it lost that title to Rawalpindi in the same year that this stadium opened, 1955. The ground may be old, but due to a renovation a few years back, it has some of the best facilities in the country. There is proper seating throughout most of the stadium, also brought to you by Pepsi, but importantly they are all undercover. Important because although I've never been there, it's fairly safe to assume that the Pakistan sunshine can be pretty harsh. Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore Qalandars. Yes, it is named after that Gaddafi. It's been named after the former dictator of Libya for over 50 years now. Putting aside the name, the ground is actually rather nice. I particularly like that, unlike most stadiums in this country, it actually has a red brick exterior. As you can see there, this stadium houses the Pakistan Cricket Board headquarters. There are more signs of that within, as there are about a dozen stars depicted in the stands rather than the Pepsi logo. Molton Cricket Stadium, Molton Sultans. Give it up for Molton. They have the only rhyming name in the league. Good stuff. And a relevant name as well. Molton has had many sultans over the years. Inzamam ul Haq is from Molton. I wonder if he's a sultan. Anyway, the design is pretty uniform and lacking in character, but in terms of its amenities, there's no complaints from me. After all, it is the newest ground in the league, having opened in 2001. Although I've got to put an asterisk next to it being the newest because ABAB Nas Stadium, home to Peshawar Zalmi, has been recently rebuilt. In fact, I believe that it's still yet to be finished, despite already being 2 years over schedule. So yeah, these pitches are several months old, but I'm still not sure whether it will be ready in time for the PSL season or not. It should be a pretty cool stadium once complete though. Buxi Stadium, Quetta Gladiators. No matches will be held here this season, but I thought why not venture out into the mountainous north of the country anyway. It's both the oldest, smallest, and also probably the most rudimentary ground in the league. There are very few actual seats and very little roof coverage. But I think it's almost certainly the only one of these stadiums where you could potentially have a snowball fight. So that's a plus, I guess. Also, that's a rather nice mountain backdrop. And those were the PSL stadiums. As for my favourite, it's a toss-up between a couple, but I think I'll go with the self-proclaimed King of Kings of Africa, Gaddafi Stadium. Please consider subscribing if you're new, and as always, thanks for watching, have a good one.